live there as well. God, yours looks great picture from that.
It's good camera, good phone. Wasted on me, like.
Same as myself. Is there good filters on
it? Yeah.
We made it for me. You've tuned that and what are flipping Snapchat filters? Is that what the crack is now?
Instagram and
all that caper.
Pinterest.
Folks, very good evening to you all. And we're multi-cameraing again this week. And so this is the 5th James Perry Presents event. Delighted to have my good good friend, Mr. Kevin Young here.
I feel as if I'm in esteemed company.
Well, you certainly are.
Given your previous guest, I feel very honoured to be sat here with you. So.
Well, as I say, there's Vinty. How you doing, man?
Hey, Vinty.
Who have we got? Mine, Heather Carr. How are you? Mark Canavan, Nebo Doherty, and Mr. Anthony Rogan. How are we doing, folks?
Hiya.
And Mr. Martin Gilchrist. We couldn't have an event without
Mr. Gilchrist.
Mr. Gilchrist being involved.
No way.
So, as I say, this is number 5 in James Perry Presents, and yeah, it's say last 2 events last year, which were live in person. I'll be doing maybe another one of those this year, and now going on to Facebook Live, which is actually working really well. Get lots of feedback, and it was basically what's happening was that Monday passed, we had a cup of coffee.
We did.
Had a really good chat and went, well, do you know something? We should actually put this live, and display our knowledge and our chat and our banter and all that, and let a few more people see it.
Or lack of.
Yeah. Sean Conley has just said, where are the ginger nuts? Yeah, we're more plush surroundings tonight.
With a bag of licorice out of sight.
That's exactly right. Which I'll be going for. I'm going to hold out of hearts and legs. Yes, folks. So let's do this. This is actually quite good. Whoever's on, blast away with the likes, with the hearts, with all that caper. But more importantly, get a couple of questions up and a couple of comments up, because this is more with you guys, and this is your event as much as us doing it. You know, so get the interaction going. This is what all this networking caper is about. And we can get a bit of a quality chat and quality questions going. So that was the start of our week, that we met up for a cup of coffee and we were putting the world to rights about so many different bits and pieces.
Great conversation.
Indeed. And I turned around and went, well, we should just do a live and get a bit of a conversation going. So, what was the rest of the week like for you, Kevin? What were we getting up to?
You know what? I've had a flipping class week. And when I look back on it, it's been so busy, but yet I felt very at ease and relaxed. So I had a chat with you on Monday morning. I was at a thing in Newry, singing a wee song and helping guys that I work with Teams TV2, giving a bit of a talk at a cycle against suicide. So there's hundreds of cyclists leaving Newry and cycling to Belfast, cycling against suicide. Really with the message that it's okay to not be okay, and it's certainly okay to ask for help. Yeah. So we were there first thing Monday morning. Glorious. It was beautiful Monday morning. This week as well, I got news that I'm going to be doing a little support gig, because I dabble with a bit of music for a very good friend of mine that I much admire, so I'm going to support him. James, this week as well, I started my hashtag everyday in May. Don't know if you've seen that. So everyday in May is my hashtag for May, and every day in May I will run 6K.
You've told me about that. Go well.
So go well. Every day I've got up and done it, and every day I've been running 6K. I have been busy with my coaching clients, with my business clients and my one-to-one personal clients, and yeah, so it's been just one of those weeks where it's been flat out busy, but yet seemed to be very calm and smooth, and everything just went according to plan. And
excellent stuff.
Which has been cool. And now this weekend. So yesterday the kids went out and I knocked about. Do you know what else I've been doing this week? Watching loads of snooker. I love the snooker. And it's on at the minute. It's 5-3 to Williams at the minute.
Is it?
Yep.
Do you know who's brilliant snooker? My dad.
Is that right?
Oh my God. And my granddad played for the Paddock Billiards team. Something like that. Something along those lines. And yes, I quite like the snooker myself.
I love
it. Partial to a bit of snooker.
So I've been, as well as trying to get up early in the mornings to run 6K, I've also been sitting up to flipping 1:30 and 2 o'clock at night watching the snooker. So those two things haven't been, maybe didn't pick the best week to start running 6K every day, but I've been up. So busy and interacting, connecting, singing, raising kids, family stuff, cooking, cleaning, sharing recipes. So Busy.
You have been flat out. Well, funny enough, I had a new business client myself this week. I had a bit of a chat with her, getting a bit of context and put a few challenges out there for us to meet in the next 2 weeks and see where we're going with that. Especially challenging her about this fear of getting her message out, actually herself. And I think the fear is that you put a few posts up on Facebook or whatever, and you maybe hide behind the screen and you go, oh, why is something not happening? So it was really just to challenge her about, okay, that she might have to do a Facebook Live, and that was a fairly big challenge, I think, for her. But then looking at, people think you put up a post and that's it, done, job done. But I've learned over the last, especially couple of the years, there's a bit more about that, and just building a personal brand. You've given it more personal yourself,
Absolutely.
Which is a huge challenge for people.
Absolutely.
You can put something from Canva, put it up there, and it's bland, maybe. Where I find success is actually putting me doing stuff and actually trying to practice what I preach. So I put one up today, for example, was my top 5 quotes from the Buddha. I love some of the quotes from the Buddha. And what was the picture of me sitting like an aged, actually in Sarnath, where he gave his first lecture.
Very good.
So trying to do that sort of stuff and challenging her in that, talking about funding and that sort of stuff too. So that was really, really exciting for me. And then what about the weather?
Class.
So
Again, not great for snooker. So this is not great weather for snooker. Although I know with the BBC app on your phone, I've now been like, my wife's been slagging me. Everywhere we go now, I just bring my phone and my headphones. So I'm like, we were at a ballet performance last Saturday with my kids in the one in Lisburn, the Island Arts Centre.
Yeah.
And I was there before the show started with my phone down here watching round 2 of the World Championship of the snooker. So
Sharon, if you're watching, give him a slap next time you see him.
So the weather has been fantastic, but it's not fantastic weather for snooker watchers.
Definitely not. So that's this week. What about? So tell me about you. You told me a lot about you, but tell everybody out there about Kevin Young. Who's here?
So I am a father, husband. I am a results coach, and I help and facilitate people and businesses to set goals, hold them accountable, and give them the tools, skills to go ahead and reach those goals. And goals come from dreams. So you're encouraging people to dream. I'm encouraging people to be honest and open and be their authentic selves. And when you get people, I had a conversation during the week with a girl, and she'd been on a retreat with us a few weeks ago. And she'd come off that retreat and she was feeling amazing. She was like, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, I'm going to, and then she kind of,
the slump comes.
The slump comes a bit. Yeah. And I was just asking her about her behaviours over the last couple of weeks. And all the things that she was describing to me is where she had returned to previous behaviours. So old behaviours, old stories, old situations, telling herself the old BS story. Behaving how she feels that she should as a sister and a daughter, behaving how she should as an employee, behaving how she should as a friend, rather than behaving how she wants to behave, to be herself. Yeah. So I encourage people and give them the tools and the skills and the ability to be themselves. And that's
a huge thing. And I have that with my accountancy students as well. So if they come to me and the first session I give is a motivation session, right? It's like, why the hell do you want to do this crap? Accountancy exams, damn hard. Why do you want to do it? And they leave super pumped up. Mm-hmm. The rest of the week, it's slowly go down. The other end of the bell curve. So what would you say to people? How can you maintain that level?
Well,
and drive or...
Well, do you know what? And this is... you're going to say, of course I would say this, but I say this seriously and with hand on heart and genuinely, get yourself a mentor.
Yeah.
Take on a coach.
Yeah.
It's that thing, you can't go to the gym for 9 hours in one day and come out looking like Superman and stay like that for the next 10 years. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You can't become an amazing leader or business owner at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday. Oh, that's me there now, and just stay there. I heard you talking today about persistence and consistency.
Yep.
And that's what I've encouraged people to do. So take a coach, take a mentor, either paid or unpaid, whatever you need to do, and have somebody there that is going to support you, encourage you, hold you accountable, to keep you driven, and somebody that is hopefully either knowledgeable in the field that you want to be in, or knowledgeable in motivation and life coaching and results coaching.
Yeah.
You know?
A couple of things with that is I call myself accountability partner. Mm-hmm. So I'm just off a call just before I came here tonight with a guy over in England. Got his exams in the next 4 weeks, lost drive last week. So I went, right, you're contacting me by hook or by crook every night, every day for the next 4 weeks. There'll be a text message or a phone call. And if he doesn't, I'll be on his tail. Mm-hmm. And he quite likes that. I can't give people a rocket if they so want it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he reacts to that. So I completely get that. And then the other one is that, but the way that could be your wife, that could be your brother, that could be your best mate, that could be whoever. So if you want to maintain a level, get someone to buy in on that with you and to maintain that level of performance or drive or whatever that may be.
Absolutely.
The other one is that, but the term life coach or whatever, I think we've spoken about this too, is that you get these people on the internet call themselves life coaches and whatever else. They're only 19 or 20 years of age.
Yeah.
How can that happen?
Yeah.
So, and we maybe touch on some of this stuff moving forward. It's the experience of lots of stuff that you can maybe then pass that on. So you do maybe have to be particular about who you are approaching.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know, that's the thing, and again, I say this openly and honestly, that if you are deciding to take on a coach or a mentor, an accountability buddy, have someone that you enjoy their company and get on well with. Yeah. They're going to bust your chops then again.
Yes.
And that's their job.
Spot on.
Their job is to bust your chops. But there are like in every walk of life, there are certain types of people that will deal with you in a certain type of way, and find one that you like. But definitely find one that holds you accountable, that moves you forward, that tells you the truth, and challenges you. So I would say to maintain that drive, you need to put the systems and processes in place to allow you to maintain that drive.
And where you come from in this, and we'll maybe go back to your background, and this is where you can actually, walk the walk, because you've run your own business.
Yeah.
You've had to train people and get people, upskill them, do all that sort of stuff. So you're very well equipped in that respect. Tell me a bit about that, about the background in that.
So, interesting, James. I come from a working family. So my family, when I was growing up, were caterers, and we had lots of little bistros, cafes, golf clubs, Patrick Tech, chip shops.
You never told me about the Patrick Tech, so I probably had there.
Yeah. So I grew up in that environment, and very, very early on was working in and around people and standing in front of people and conversing with people. And from a very early age, and from a very early age. So I'd be working, I'd be maybe 15 or 16 and working in a pub. I worked in Ray's in Patrick for years. And very quickly, even at 15 and 16, was someone that was a leader. Naturally, just because I was used to being around people and used to working the deadlines and used to dealing with the public. And so then I went to Queen's to study mathematics. And
did you A-level maths?
Yeah.
What was your favourite? Sorry for this, because I adore maths. Pure? Pure
was my favourite. No, applied was my favourite, but pure I found easier.
Well,
so I love the application of maths. I love.
So you must love physics as well, did you?
I did. Well, that was it was pure maths, applied maths, and physics.
Here we go.
I haven't told you the end of that story yet. But I love. See, just when you're talking about that stuff, I tell everyone, I love that. Applied maths, and this get really geeky, so I'm sorry. I love when you're trying to fill the boot of the car with all the suitcases. I love that there's a certain people are like, well, it won't fit. I'm like, it will fit, because that one needs to go. You put that in the volume of that, and put, and I just love
slide. If anybody's seen my dad's talking about slide rule, which is an engineering tool for precision engineering, you'd want to.
Yes, love all that. Love all that. So I love applied maths, I do. But so anyway, I went to Queen's to study mathematics and statistics, and decided that I like drinking cider and going to parties more than I liked going to lectures and tutorials. So didn't finish.
That's where I went wrong.
Yeah, Mr. Best, where did it all go wrong? So I then didn't finish my degree and took myself off to live in Holland for about 5 years. And again, I was working there and enjoying it. But again, I was a leader there. I was a mentor there, and then we employed lots of foreign staff. And I was the sort of
who were you working for there?
There was in a Violin, it's a big auction warehouse there, and it was like a family auction thing. So, but I was the liaison between the Dutch owners and there was Polish staff, there was Spanish staff, there was Italian staff. And I was always that leader, mentor, guide person. So anyway, came back from there, mid-20s, and worked for Vodafone for almost 10 years, for about 9 years. And in that was employed in sales management, regional management, recruitment, training, process management, sales, all sorts of stuff. I loved it. I loved working for Vodafone, and Vodafone loved me, and I would still get on very, very well with a lot of people there. So hello, any Vodafoners that are watching. And then got to a stage where I was doing very well and was working a lot of time here and a lot of time away in England and stuff, and was having a young family. So my kids then were very, very young, and just decided that I didn't want to be an absent parent. So I didn't want to be a
slave to the corporate world.
Yeah. So I didn't want to do that. As much as when I was young and ambitious, I loved it. Then I got older and had kids, I didn't want to do it. So I decided that I would open my own business here in Saintfield. My wife and I looked for a while to find the right property and opened Saint's Cafe, and I ran it for 8 years and loved it.
How did you find that complete? That's a huge difference. How did you find that transition?
Well, I'll tell you what I find tough about it, James. I'll tell you what I did find tough. I didn't find the transition tough because I already had lots of people, catering management, process management, stock management, staff management, supplier management. I had all those skills from Vodafone. I had all the cooking skills. My dad's a chef and I love to cook. I had all the cooking skills. So I kind of just was matching up all these skills that I had all my life and put them together. Mm-hmm. But what I did find difficult about it was when you work for someone like Vodafone, we had regional manager, divisional manager, HR manager, we had payroll, we had property, we had pension department, we had uniform department, we had IT department, we had electric department. And if you needed anything done in a large organisation like that, you phone the department and say, we need our PC changed, and the next day a guy comes around and changes your PC. Yeah. When you have your own business and you're self-employed, I was all of those people. Yeah. So I was HR, recruitment, discipline management, stock management, supplier management. I was environmental health management.
You were the whole business.
I was the whole business. And in the first 18 months, 2 years, I found that really tough. Quite lonely in that. When you're in a big organisation, there's always someone working at your level that you say, here, how are you getting on with that new process, or what are you doing about that, or there was always someone you could bat something off. Then when you're your own boss like that, there isn't. You're in a lonely position. Definitely.
Without doubt.
And did that for 8 years, and then my kids got older. And whilst I was doing that in Saints, a number of people had come to me and asked me about opening a cafe and helping them with cafe. And I helped quite a number of people then open their own cafes. So looking at talking about suppliers and talking about management and talking about menus and talking about staff and talking about location and all that stuff, giving people a lot of help because I love to give it.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, is there a business in that?
It's a very, very similar journey to what I'm on now. Yeah.
Is there a business in that? And I thought that there was, and then was lucky enough to bump into Stevie McGeown, Team Stevie J, and I kind of just landed down. I did a retreat with him and a bit of work, and then kind of landed on his door and said, by the way, I'm going to work with you. And he was like, what? I was like, I'm going to work with you. And he was like, right, okay, And anyone that has read Think and Grow Rich will be familiar with the story of Edison and Barnes, where Barnes just arrives at Edison's door and is like, I'm going to work with you. Yeah. And that was over a year ago, and I have been coaching and mentoring seriously ever since.
Brilliant.
And that's the background.
And is that really just taking that chance, that last bit of your story, just going to Stevie J's door and knocking it and go, I was just taking the chance.
Yeah.
Bite the bullet.
Yeah. I've never been afraid to bite the bullet, James. Like I say, I first went to Holland on my own with nobody else. Second time again, I went on my own. Then I left. When I left Vodafone, people were like, what, are you mad? chance. You know, I had this great job, doing really well, great prospects, you know, but I just needed to follow my heart, you know, and I did that. I'm going to open my own cafe. And I had people phone me before I opened my cafe to say to me, you are mad. You are mental. And the funny thing is, to see those very same people, to see when I was leaving my cafe, they were the very same people that phone me and say, you're mad, what are you doing? You built a great business, sir, you're mental. And that's fine. They're just the sort of people that do what they do and like to be. And I'm someone that likes to, every now and again, just follow my heart.
Would you do it in a very risky way or a more educated guess way?
An educated way.
Because I would say I never bit the bullet up until about 2-3 years ago. Never did. Was complete slave to the corporate culture. But I never think I could go all gung-ho that way and just throw all my sort of put all the eggs in one basket type thing. It has to be educated. So that's fantastic.
Well, it has to be educated, James, but there's also something to say that you have to burn your, you know, if you give yourself, if you really want to do something, if you really, 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 really want to do it, and you've given yourself a fallback, you know, there's something to me saying that you're not prepared to risk everything. And what's that Rudyard Kipling? If you're prepared to risk everything at the toss of a coin and lose and face the world again, you know,
there is something to that effect. Yeah.
So I think you just have to move forward, go forward, be forward thinking, do what you want to do, but put in place the steps to get you there. And we can talk later about long-term goals and short-term goals and stuff, but that's for another time. But no, I've always been very lucky to have the support of my wife, who, you know, I've said, listen, I'm thinking of doing this, and she's been like, crack on.
Brilliant.
And away you go.
But sort of to have that sort of safety net in the background if it needs to be.
Yeah,
I completely get that one. Mm-hmm. Here's one for you now. I had a few questions in mind, so this is absolutely no pattern whatsoever. I'm just going to fling a few questions out. Can you give me 3 books that have been quite influential for you?
Yep. It's funny because I did an event recently, and at that event I gave them a reading list, you know, a recommended reading list of books that I had read, you know, and this is one of these questions. Do you know when someone says, can you tell me 3 things? And I'm like, only 3? Shit. That means I have to leave out that and I have to leave out. Yeah. So it's not what you put into these sort of questions, it's what you leave out. Yeah. You know, and I'm like, oh. But anyway, if anyone would care enough to have a recommended reading list of me, then I'll send it to them, just ask. So I would say the first sort of I suppose self-development book that I read was a book called Inmynd by a guy called Jack Black, a Scottish guy.
Not Jack Black, the
American actor. No, a guy called Jack Black. So the book was called Inmynd by Jack Black, and I read that back in about 2005. So, you know, 13 years ago, 14 years ago. No, maybe before that, 2003, 15 years ago. Anyway, and that has really stuck with me. That kind of really interested me and grabbed my attention, you know. So that one. Another book that I'm going to mention, no, I'm not going to mention that one. I'm going to mention As a Man Thinketh by James Allen.
Yeah, I've read it.
I read it all the time, constantly, all the time.
I found it difficult the very first read because of the language. It's obviously still in the
1903.
1903, it's still not written in that language yet, but it's very good.
I love it. And read it all the time.
You could say it's a precursor to Think and Grow Rich, couldn't you?
It is the precursor to
everything.
Every self-help book, you know, development book, affirmation book, manifestation book that has ever been written. You know,
So
there's a guy from here as well, a guy called Joseph Andrews, who wrote a book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Okay.
Very early as well, 1920 or something, and it's another one of those. So I already mentioned 3, but I want to mention one more because one of my favoritist novels, and it's not a self-help book or whatever, is a book called The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. And that sounds like it's a religious book, and it's not at all. It's just the crux of it is about an old man who dies on a fun. He looks after a fun fair, and he gets killed as part of a fun fair accident. And it's then his journey through. You know, his journey from earth to heaven, you know, and it's about the 5 people that that have had a real impact on your life, and you also meet the people that you have had an impact on their life. But you may not know.
Yeah.
You may not know that this person was the person that had the impact on your life, or you may not know that you were the person that had the impact on this other person's life. So, and it's just a wee novel. It's a wee novel. It's a fantastic read. Have you crying and laughing, and Mitch Albom, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. I have read it a number of times. In fact, it is the only book, it is the only novel that I have ever read, lying in bed, got to the end, got to the last page and went, just flipped right back to the start, started at the start again. And I have bought it about, I don't know how many times I've bought it and given it as gifts as well. So
Excellent. Well, I'll definitely note that.
Yeah.
Definitely that
Mitch Albom, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven.
A few honourable mentions in books.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 Agreements.
Martin Gilchrist does get my copy of The 4 Agreements.
I've actually read it on your recommendation. It's very, very good. I've bought the 5th Agreement. Need to read that. I see you've got Adam Cara on the phone, which is about Celtic spirituality.
That'll be back to front, but Anam Cara by John O'Donoghue.
Yeah. Kevin led it to my dad, or I took it on Monday, gave it to my dad. My dad had read it in 2 nights. Really, really good. Really appreciated it. Other things, obviously, Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich is one. My study group, my business masterminds, there's 4 copies of it sitting there.
Yeah.
It's another book that I read constantly, all the time. When we go through the mastermind groups, we read a chapter a month, and I read the chapter, every time that I'm doing it with a group, or every time we're chatting about it, I read it again. And I want to give that book I mentioned as well. This is The Prophet by Khalil Gibran.
Very like the boys there too.
The Prophet it'll be backwards, Khalil Gibran. The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. And this is amazing. This is just, do you know what? I can't even describe to you what that's about. It's just, again, very short story. This was written in 19...
Is it a novel or is it self-help?
It's a novel, but it's one of those, like the Paul Coelho, alchemist type novel type things,
It's got a story, like the Richest Man in Babylon type of...
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. So...
and another one from me, maybe, if everybody wants... It's a basic finance book, but even as an accountant, it made me see finance in a very different light. Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh yeah, it's very famous.
It's a phenomenal book. Yeah. So guys, get a bit of a look at that. So here's a very philosophical one.
Mm-hmm.
So I told you I was gonna challenge you with a wee philosophical question. Mm-hmm. Okay. So how do you, Mr. Kevin Young, how do you find meaning in life? What gives you meaning in life? Where do you find meaning in life?
I think I get my meaning in life from probably 2 things. People. So the interactions that I have with people.
Yep.
And how I think, what I think about, and challenging my own thinking. So there, and especially, when I write a few songs, and everybody knows that, and people always say, well, where do you get a song from? And for me, a song always comes from a wee something that somebody says, a wee phrase, a wee throwaway thing. And I just love...
Does it come to you whenever you least expect it?
Yeah.
Or do you consciously think
No, I can't do that. There's people, there's and they're the people that are at the top of the game that can sit down and say, today I'm going to write a song. And my good friend Stevie Scullion, Melodian, I'll say,
cracking name, by the way.
Isn't it? And he'll be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to write some songs, and so I can't do that. So where I get, inspiration or in my life, meaning is through the things that people say, and sometimes it can just be a wee throwaway thing. And I love observational stuff. I love watching people. I love seeing how they interact. I love, I get a lot of meaning in my life and a lot of pleasure. It was a lot of joy from watching people transform. I love the work that I do at that time when somebody gets it.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah,
you can see it.
Yeah.
You can just ding in their eyes, and you're like, brilliant. And I just love watching people going out and different than from they came in.
Yeah.
And I I love that. You know, it's so that's where I get meaning. I suppose it has to be people. Then it just has to be people. Is where I get meaning in my life. You know.
And do you like? I mean, you talk about this a few times. You like the sort of, how would you put, the culture around here, the ancient monuments.
Sure. We talk about that. I'm very passionate about.
That gives you a lot of meaning.
And we had, well, again, that's people. Isn't it true? Because that's what people made. You know, although it was 1,000 years ago, or 2,000 years ago, or 5,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And I love how people. I love trying to work out how people behaved back then and what they were thinking and what they understood about energy and thought and psychology. And, you know, we spoke to this about length. And,
we did, yeah, completely.
We talked, you know, Strill Wells and the Ballynosstone Circle and Mound of Down. And
I'm of the belief that we've actually lost knowledge as a civilization over the last centuries, or whatever, millennia. Just some of the stuff we have right here. Mr. Chris Heath, if you're there, I know that. Is he there? There he is, sir. Mr. Chris Heath, if we're there, us three lads might do a wee bit of a road trip, maybe a bit of an ancient monument road trip. I know maybe we'll make a wee video one or something like that, because I think, especially around County Down here, we're just blessed with so much stuff. I've got a good friend coming up. I wonder if Andrew's watching. How you doing, Andrew Cobb from Clonakilty in Cork? And he's coming up to me the next couple of weeks. It'll be the first time he's ever been in the north. And it's just basically because I've told him about the amount of stuff we have here.
Within a 20-mile radius, James, you know. And
it's just chock-a-block full of stuff.
I work with a lot of lads from Armagh, and you know, I'm forever. You know, they're very passionate about Armagh, and you know, Brandroo and Cullen, and the seat. You know, it's the seat of the King of Ulster and the Navan Fort, all that stuff. You know, and I'll argue with a bit out of them about County Down. You know that what we have up here, and you know what, we're blessed that we're able to argue about our own places.
But the thing is that most counties in Ireland have got something absolutely amazing. People around the world, if they seen what every county has, they would just be absolutely astounded. But County Down has got tens of things, loads of stuff. But and that certainly gives a lot of meaning to my life. Like I said, my dad, I owe that gift to my dad. Give me the gift of that. So in terms of your coaching, your work, your passions, whatever, are there any previous experiences that have helped you in that? Okay, we'll talk about Vodafone, but is there anything else?
Do you know, James, it's a funny thing because I'll tell you a couple of funny stories. So when I was probably 6 or 7. No, I'll tell you a story from before that. One of my earliest memories is I can remember I still lived in Belfast. So we moved out from 1981 when I was about 6. So I was younger than 6. So I must be 5 or 4. And I can remember on Halloween night walking across this sort of back field with my then girlfriend. She was 5 as well, you know. So and she was called Mandy Tate, right? And I remember walking across the back field where we're going. I don't know where we're going or coming to or from. And I saw a witch.
Okay.
As clear as day. The archetypal cartoon witch on a broom, pointy hat, green and black striped socks, the works, right? And now, I was going to deny myself there and say, obviously, I didn't see it. I did see it. Whether it was there or not is another story.
You used 5, you've seen it.
Yes,
completely.
Yes, absolutely. Then I can remember being about 7, and I got a new TV for from Santa Claus. And of course, you're up at stupid o'clock in the morning, and I watched this TV.
You must have been a good fella that year.
I must have been, but it was TV. It had a dial to tune it.
Close with a wee dot.
So it had a dial. You had to tune like a radio. You had to tune it like a radio. You know.
Yeah.
Well, that was. I mean, like I said, that was in 1981, and I watched this TV for about 2 hours. Loved it. And then my mum and dad were getting up out of bed at about 7, you know, and it's like, I got a colour TV for Christmas, I got a brand new colour TV. And my dad was like, are you sure it's colour? I was like, what do you mean? He goes, maybe you should just check again. So I went down and turned this TV on, and it was a black and white TV. So I had watched a black and white TV in colour for 2 hours. Now, I can remember watching the colour. I can remember seeing the colour.
Your imagination.
My imagination filled that in.
Right.
So, then growing up, and I don't mean this to sound egotistic, I had on a number of occasions, I had people come and say to me, you're not the same. I was like, right, okay, you know, I certainly looked the same as my friends, we had all shaven heads, we were running about in the same sort, and I saw myself as the same, and this thing continued to happen to me. That people would tell me that I wasn't the same. I was different, and I'm like, what? And so all through my life, I have loved the idea of how your mind can work and do and achieve things, and insert things and delete things, and I love how, and then we talk about manifestation and all those sorts of things, and I love how that works. And then a kind of final story on that. About 7 years ago, when my kids are very young, I remember having a chat with my daughter. It was a nighttime chat, going to bed, and and I was saying to her, if you imagine nice things are going to happen, nice things will happen. Just being very fatherly and very, very polite, and saying that that if you imagine you're going to have a nice day in school tomorrow, then you'll have a nice day in school. And just explaining this in a very child-friendly way, this idea of creating your own reality. And in a very childlike manner, she said to me, so if I imagined I was going to find money on the ground, but I find it, I was like, oh, right. So what do you do there? Do you, swallow your words and say, no, that's not really how it works? Or do you take the cue from, whatever power is out there and say, yeah, you know what? If you imagine that, that's what's going to happen. And I just said, yes. If you imagine that's going to happen, then that's what's going to happen. And kind of left her room thinking, what did I say? I need a miracle now, And the end of the story, James, is 2 days later, she went shopping with her grandmother.
Oh, no.
And we can ask her. This is as true as I'm sitting here. 2 days later, she went shopping with her grandmother to Forsyth, to M&S. Other supermarkets are available. And she came back. She said, Dad, you never guess what happened to me? And I was like, I don't know, what happened to you? She says, I found money. And she found 2 £5 notes on the floor of Forsyth, Truebill. And she's a very honest child. She went to hand the money in to customer care, and nobody was there. And she says she waited for about 10 minutes and nobody came along. And her granny then, who's also a very honest lady, said, Rosa, I think you're just meant to keep that money. And she kept the money, came home with 2 £5 notes. And if ever there was magic and miracles happening in the world, and if ever I needed a sign that magic and miracles happen in the world, there was one right there. So you talk about experiences that lead you on, and I totally believe in the power of creating your own reality. I also believe that we can mess that up quite often.
I completely believe in. Well, I've got a couple of things that. First of all, you're talking about seeing witches. Well, I've seen the Banshee.
Good for you. Yeah, I wouldn't. On
numerous occasions, whenever the lights in the nightclub goes up, I've seen the Banshee numbers.
Okay.
The second one, the power of the mind. The second one, the power of the mind. And this is one with Dad, actually. Now, we had a bit of bad news last year. Mm-hmm. So, in typical fashion, you do up the good room so we can go and sleep in the good room. The good room was my mum's room. So, the first night that he relocated into the good room, he woke up the next morning and he went, somebody took me up in bed last night. And I went, that wasn't me. And obviously he says it wasn't your mother, but I believe it was your mother. Mm-hmm. And that was the part of his mind which had given him some sort of comfort. Yep. So I completely buy that. Yep. And it's absolutely amazing the way that works. Yep. Absolutely amazing. The magic of the power that's in your mind might necessarily be happening in reality, but if your mind makes you give you that comfort or whatever,
you see that, and that's the thing, James. If it's happening in your mind, then that is your reality, and that is the truth, and that is your truth. And here, very interesting. Not to get too spiritual or far out about it. I read something today or yesterday, which really fascinated me. This is an aside. I just love all this stuff. And you say, well, where do you get your what was the question? I said, where do you get your interest somewhere?
The meaning of life.
Your meaning, and I love this, that someone had written somewhere that you, and I, what are those ones? You don't exist. I was like, right, this is interesting me, so I decided to read on, because the version of me that
is different than the version
that say Martin Gilchrist or Chris Heath or something. They know a different version of me. So all of the thousands of people that I know all have a version of me in their head, and I have a version of me in my head.
And that was very prevalent in the four agreements.
That's right.
The sort of Toltec wisdom.
That's right. Listen,
and maybe that's a bit about the illusionary nature of
life. Yeah.
Which is hugely interesting.
And I so you can see this sort of stuff fascinates me. This results coaching, this getting people to think about who they are, what they want, how they're going to get it, and then all this stuff really fascinates me. So,
and me too, because 3 years ago I would have went fluffy crap, bullshit. But whenever you actually go, the power that you have in your mind is like I don't know if I told you this one before, but I went to talk to a counsellor 3 years ago. That stuff going on, went, I need help here. First time I'd ever put my hand up with I need help. Yeah.
It's okay not to be okay.
Completely. Yeah. And, like you heard me say numerous occasions, I'm an accountant to believe in pre-programmed, logical, articulate. Here, I shouldn't have had problems. I should be able to deal with myself.
Yeah.
Bullshit. If you need a hand, go and ask someone. I went and asked somebody and said exactly that same line. By the way, you can't change me. I'm logical, pre-programmed. My head works like a spreadsheet. And he turned around and he said, James, that's the biggest bollocks I've ever heard in my life. He said, you can do whatever you want to do. You can think the way you want to think. You just have to flick that switch in your mind to actually do that. Mm-hmm. In the last 3 years, I've seen the power of that happening. Mm-hmm. So, for example, if I met you 3 years ago, Kevin, you said, well, James, how are you doing? Do you think you'd ever be a businessman? No, bollocks, no way. Mm-hmm. And look what's happened. It's mad. Yeah. So you can actually do whatever you want. So here's one. What's the best investment you've ever made? Monetary, spiritually.
It won't have been money.
I wouldn't have thought so.
It's a funny thing with money, James. I have always been really, really, really good up until recent times of generating and making money, and always really, really good at giving it away and spending it.
You were good at that too.
Good at that too. Great at that too. Uh-huh. And so it wouldn't have been money. It wouldn't have been a monetary investment. Do you know, James? And again, this is probably very cliched and very, but I don't give a shit. So I have two daughters now who are 14, almost 15, and almost 13. Mm-hmm. So two beautiful girls. And I know every father is doting and but my children are serious high achievers, right? I don't even mean academically. I just mean, in their sports and their academics. And I posted a picture this morning. My 12-year-old for breakfast made baked eggs, avocado, and wheaten bread. And I was speaking to people, adults, on Friday, who I don't really think knew what an avocado was. Do you mean? And there's my daughter using it. So
you're probably talking to one of them now.
Yeah. So when my kids were very young,
so no spuds in avocado, no.
There's no spuds in an avocado. No, you can have spuds on avocado. Yeah. When my kids were very young, my wife Sharon and I worked very, very hard at we did by hook or by crook. We made sure that we were there to raise our kids. Yeah. And sometimes that was tough. And, sometimes we didn't have enough money, and sometimes we struggled through. But we always had time to read to them, to answer the questions, to be with them, to and I'm a tough enough dad. Like I don't take any out nonsense. I would expect respect. Yeah. Would expect that they give respect. In all sorts of walks of life. And I know I have a 15-year-old and an almost 15-year-old and almost 13-year-old who are nothing short of amazing. Nothing short of amazing. Like for academics is important. It's not the most important thing. It gives you a measure of it. So Rosa,
that's actually making me well up the way you've said that, man.
Yeah, well, I'm serious about it.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. Why I'm sorry to cut across you, because everybody's seen the last couple of minutes of my dad's talk. Yeah, that's the way he felt with me.
Yeah, I know that.
So I can relate that.
He was.
Oh, completely. Go for it. That's amazing.
So Rosa, both of them. Rosa last year, she's a bit older, so she was doing 12 subjects at school. She did 12 subjects, and she came first in her class. She's in Down High, which is a great grammar school. Yeah. Very good grammar school. She came first in her class out of 10 of her 12 subjects, and second in the other two. Now, I've said to her, once or twice in your class is amazing. 5 times is outstanding.
But never subject.
10 times is like, seriously. And my youngest, I have to mention her as well, she'll follow me. She's in first year, so she was only doing 10 subjects, and she was first in 8 of her 10 subjects. They're on the hockey teams, they're on the football teams, they cook, they read, they're great with the young kids, they're very respectful to me and their mum. So the biggest investment that I have made is the investment that I put into my kids between the ages of 1 and 7. Is absolutely the best investment that I made. Absolutely.
Because one thing that I have learned is that those formative years, again, I never thought that's fluffy crap because of my thing about genes and brain pre-programmed blah blah, was rubbish. Mm-hmm. But those formative years, even before you are born, is so important and so impactful. I even seen it myself unfortunately, with the impact of my mum. That made a bit of impact on me further on down the line. And so it's taking me now to really get around that. But where you are with your 2 girls, like 2 incredibly rounded individuals.
Class individuals, class 3 human beings, very proud of them. And, that's just not bad.
But that's a testament. I was going to say that's a testament to you, Sharon.
Yeah.
And that's just unbelievable.
And, Sharon, we've been really lucky, when you talk about that, and Sharon's mum and my mum, both chief babysitters, we've been lucky to have strong, good family. And both Sharon's from they're bonkers. We're Northern Irish, normal families, head cases, a lot of, and my sisters are flipping big cracking bonkers, and they've got cousins, and Sharon's brothers are both flipping, head cases in the nicest possible sense, and so we've been lucky to have a very good social structure built around us, but yes, my absolute best investment has been the time that I invested in my kids in their early years.
That's brilliant. And folks, we've got probably about another 10-15 minutes. So could you please, if you want any questions, fire them up now. We'll see if we can get Kevin and myself, whatever, to contribute on. So here's one for you. What's the most unusual habit you have? Or will I let you away with that and play a wee song first?
Play a wee song first.
I need to think about it.
Yeah, I don't. Habits. What are habits? Jesus. What is a habit? Something you do repeatedly.
Something that you do that you find is okay that somebody else will go, what?
Well, you'd have to ask somebody else.
That's a bit of a response.
Yeah, you'd have to ask somebody else. So if anybody knows any habits, Sharon, you're excluded from messaging.
No, Sharon, no, keep them coming, keep them coming.
So I don't know. I collect tattoos. Is that a habit, or is that a so and I'm not finished yet. I'm 43 years of age, and I'm still.
Where did it start?
When? When I was 17 or 18.
Okay, so you're a trendsetter then, because 20 years ago nobody would have.
I know. I was.
You're the man.
Yeah, and a face full of. I've got 12 body piercings that I don't display anymore. Don't wear anymore. So
I'm not even going to ask what they are.
Eyebrows, lips, tongue, noses. 3 or 4 in ears, nipples done as well. So,
Jesus Christ! Go play a song quick. Play a song quick.
Play a song.
Are we going to dedicate this to somebody? Anybody?
I'm going to dedicate this. I have to dedicate this to my own mate Martin Gallagher.
Because he had asked for one up.
Oh, has he? Has he asked for one?
Yeah, he asked for one.
No. Don't wear your suede shoes in the rain. Don't lose yourself, find some fame. Don't leave your heart where you wouldn't leave your soul. Don't wait to love, you're told. Don't hold a grudge, they'll slow you down. confuse a joker for a clown. Don't let your master be the voice inside your head, and it'll be alright in the end. It'll be alright in the end. It'll be alright in the end. If it's not alright, let me tell you there's one thing, my friends. If it's not alright, it's not the end. Don't leave your words inside your heads. Don't let your story go on unsaid. Don't let your fears keep everything the same. Don't wear your suede shoes in the rain. That was a wee short version of that song.
Did you write that?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's genius here.
All the songs I sang around. So.
Chris Heath asked that I would sing the harmony, but Chris, unfortunately, I've got man.
He's got the cold. He's got
I've
the
got
cold.
man flu,
so
I'll do it the next time. I'll certainly enhance that song with my dulcet tones. So Martin, that was for you. So don't be soaking your shoes in the rain, the suede shoes. Thanks very much. That was brilliant. So a couple of final questions. And folks, put up anything that you want to put up. Final few comments. Do that, please.
I got it.
The concept, the whole saying, work, rest, and play.
Yeah.
What do you think about play and that concept to have a healthy life? And what do you do to play? What do you do to relax? Because me and you touched on this last Monday, actually. Yeah. So tell me a bit more about that.
I watch snooker to relax, but to me, James, and I mean this honestly, my work, rest, and play is everything that I do. Do you mean? And that's I get a real buzz, a real energy out of helping people and working with businesses and individuals, and that is my motivate. That's my race. That's my enthusiasm. I can't remember this, and this is honestly, I can't remember the last time I ever had that feeling of, I don't want to go to work. Certainly not in the last 10 years.
The 6 o'clock feeling on a Sunday night.
Never, can't remember the last time I had
it. Yeah. But it takes you, does it take you to be in the corporate hamster wheel?
To feel that?
But then
probably does.
To come off that wheel to then realise.
Yeah.
Because if I'm talking to an accountancy student now or a business, coaching a business person, whatever that is, I'm exactly the same as you.
Yeah.
I mean, you've definitely spoken about this in terms of giving value and asking for that value back. Sometimes I feel guilty asking for the money because you don't think you're working.
Yeah.
Or I don't.
No,
occasionally. So it's.
But in that instance, the best thing to do is to value yourself on not on how you feel you have done, but on how the other person feels that you have done. That's another.
But in terms then of out of the work sphere, what?
Outside of work. Outside of work.
And outside of watching snooker.
Yeah, singing and playing guitar.
Tell us about your gig.
So I'm supporting. Well, that's interesting about talking about manifestation. So I wrote down on a piece of paper about 3 weeks ago that one of my short-term goals was more support gigs. That's just what I wrote. More support gigs. And that very night, a friend of mine messaged me on Facebook and says, "Here, Kev, a friend of mine's booking himself a gig in the Duncairn Centre and was looking for a support act. Would you do it?" I was like, "You kidding me?" Just wrote that down this morning.
Brilliant.
So, and then during the week, one that I'm really excited about, a friend of mine who he hasn't released the gig, so I don't want to steal his thunder. A guy that I really, really, really admire as a musician, Northern Irish musician, and I'm supporting him on the 23rd of August in Bangor. It's in the Drama Club, but I've been told not to call it the Drama Club in Bangor. It's called the Something Theatre, which you can't remember. So yes, I love to cook. I love to eat. I love to play music. I love to read books. I love to go to gigs. I would go to. You mean anybody that ever wants to phone me up and say, "Kev, do you want to go to a gig?" I'll say yes.
What's your favourite genre of music? I asked that too. It's more folk, but you do folk.
James, that question there is like, which is your favourite child?
Okay.
So can't answer that. I listen to electronic music. I listen to. Well, I'll tell you what. If I just quickly mention the local scene that I listen to, so a guy called Melodian, who's 60s psychedelic folk kind of stuff, Neil Young-esque.
Is he on YouTube?
Yes.
I can look him up.
Melodian, absolutely.
Oh, brilliant. Go and look up Melodian.
I'll go and look up Melodian, absolutely. And then the other side of that is a guy called, for example, Ryan Veal, who's a guy from Derry, London, Derry.
Stroke City.
Stroke City, who is like real flipping melodic electronic music.
Right.
Class stuff. Ryan Veal that came up. A guy called Kieran Lavery from here's a real troubadour singer-songwriter guy called Joshua Burnside, who writes this, and these are all people that live within 20 miles of us. Joshua Burnside writes this sort of mental singer-songwriter stuff, but with a real twist on it. It's class. You
do a lot of hosting for that pop-up thing, don't you?
Yeah.
Ross Moffat, if he's out there, that's fantastic stuff. Keep her lit, man. Keep her lit. Actually, so a good friend of mine who I just made as a really good friend on my cycle around Jordan 2 or 3 weeks ago, Sam Magri, said your song's brilliant.
Cheers, Sam. Thank you.
And by the way, Sam, get your arse out to Machu Picchu now. Book your holiday now, because he was saying he was debating it.
Right.
Go and do it. You'll not regret it. So play is so important. And as I say, coming off that hamster wheel of the corporate world has just made me appreciate that. So here's a couple of things then just to wrap us up. We've been going for 57 minutes, man.
Nice.
What would your advice be? Well, I've sort of framed it. What would your advice be to a young person sort of coming into the real world? But let's just open it out. What would your main advice be to everybody who's watching it?
Do you know my main advice, and this sounds cheesy and corny, and I'll probably have to take a while to explain it, but you don't have, but I'm going to say it, is have no fear. Have no fear. Go forward without fear. I wish if I could give myself advice, as a 20-year-old man or a 25-year-old man, have no fear.
Yeah.
There is nothing to fear. And that's the advice I would give people now. Have no fear. Because so many people are twisted and buckled and weighed down and under pressure of fear. And I experienced myself this week, and only had a very good chat with my wife, who hit me a swift kick in the about living in fear, and doing something about the fear that you're living in. Have no fear. That's my thing. Just have no fear. That's my advice to anyone. Have no fear. And then there's a whole sort of under things to prop that up, and how do you not have fear, and what do you do about that, and how do you get rid of it, and how do you deal, but that's a whole another conversation. But have no fear.
This is a very, very current one for me, because I would say from Friday evening onward, I was in incredibly bad form, and only really snapped out of it this morning. I'll tell you why. My dad's not well, as I said, but he's also developed vertigo.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the enormous fear of, my God, what's going to happen next? The fear of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And that really affected me on Friday night. I was going to go, what's going to happen next to my dad?
Mm-hmm.
For being so healthy up to this time last year, and then boom, it's like the house of cards starting to fall apart. Yeah. It's not really. Not whenever rational head kicks back in and goes, good God, James, he's got all clear in one aspect in the doctor. Here, he's getting a hip replacement in 2 months' time, and in the vertigo, he's not getting treatment for that too. Yeah. So I can completely relate to fear. Mm-hmm. Fear completely overtook my mind from Friday onward. Until sometimes you have to look at your the demon that sits on your shoulder, politely tell him to, apologies folks, back off.
Yeah.
That was in stereo sound, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, completely.
Completely get that. It's to banish all the fear. And Natasha has given us a really good question that maybe will tie into this piece. So, guys, I've got a question. This time of year is exam time. What advice would you guys give? James from the practical side and Kevin from the mindset side. Well, my practical tip, anybody doing an exam at the minute, is to draw up a study plan and to do it as soon as possible. What I mean by a study plan, I mean capturing that in a life plan. So for the next 4 weeks, you know when you're going to go to the gym, you know whenever you're going to go out with your mates, you know whenever you're going to study, blah, blah. But the key thing is, and people tend to have the most fancy plan in the world, not stick to it. You have to stick to it. The other secondary tip is for every subject you're doing, do it in 90-minute blocks. 90-minute block of studying science, 15-minute break. 90-minute block maths, 15-minute break, and do it that way, and mix up your topics so you don't get bored. Mindset piece for exams. Fear?
No, exactly the same as yours, James. It doesn't matter whether you want to achieve your exams, whether you want to achieve in a relationship, whether you want to achieve in your finances, whether you want to achieve at home, in your career, in your job, whatever it is. And one realm of the work that I do with people would class this as the spiritual, the intellectual, and the physical.
Yeah. People
can sometimes get a bit freaked out when you use those words. And another 3 words that mean exactly the same, and you just said them, are think, plan, and action.
Yeah.
So think about what you want to get. That's the spiritual side.
Yep.
Plan for it. That's the intellectual part, your study plan. And take action. Action is always the answer.
Which is the key thing that people tend to forget.
Yeah,
action. Shy away from.
Shy away from,
Why?
Sit and...
because of fear.
Because of fear.
Yeah.
Take action. And one of the best ways to get over fear is to take action. So somebody could be sitting there shitting themselves about their exam coming up and sit and shit themselves. Go and do a half-hour study. Go and revise this. Take action. Go and phone someone that's already done some study. Go and find some past papers. Go and Google, history papers from 2015 to 2017. Take action. So think, plan, action.
Yeah. The other thing about the thinking is why you're doing it. This is the first question I ask any accountancy student that I do, and I'd fire that out to anybody who's doing exams. You do not want to have the what if factor in a month's time or 2 months' time. What if I only studied for an extra hour? What if I only studied at all? You know what I mean? So go and do it. Take action and move forward. And hey, the future will certainly.
James, can I just say, as an important point as well, just right now, that for anyone doing exams, especially young people, it is not the be all and end all.
Definitely.
It is not the be all and end all. When I first sat my A levels, I got 2 U's and an N.
I'm sure I failed my first year at A level too.
Yeah.
I failed my 11 plus and got the lowest grade, and my headmaster told me it was stupid.
Yeah.
It's then about just getting back on the horse and moving forward again.
It is not the end of the world. Take action, do your best, think, plan, action, have a study plan, move forward, do your best. If it doesn't happen for you, it is not the end of the world.
No. And life has got a strange way of moving you into certain directions.
Yeah.
But you taking those opportunities, those actions to sort of embrace that.
Yeah.
Definitely get that. So, last thing, Mr. Kevin Young, what does the future hold for you? What's the next few months looking like?
So short-term future, this is something I really want to talk about, is an event that and this is blatant plugginism.
You plug away.
Plugginism. So an event that I am heavily involved with Team Stevie J is an event called Reignite Your Ultimate Power, and I will post a little link on all the pages after this. Reignite Your Ultimate Power, which is a one-day event on the 15th of June in Armagh City Hotel, which is a big event we're probably talking 200 people. And going through a step-by-step guide to help people move forward, to get, to beat the fear, to find themselves, to see what they want to do, to help them set goals, to help them, find their dreams, to help them move forward. And that. So this is a big event, big event. And the early bird tickets are still on sale until end of this week, so next Sunday. And then the early bird tickets stop. So if you have any interest in this sort of, just see if you're doing your exams, or you're starting a business, or you want to improve your business, or you just feel a bit blocked, or you're a bit not blocked, a bit energy blocked, challenged that you can't get to the next phase of your life. This is the event for you. So that's in the immediate future. For me in work, I've just written a program and I'm about to launch it to restaurateurs, coffee shop owners, and cafe owners. About how to develop their business. I'm a real coffee shop fan. When you ask me what I do outside of work, I should have said that.
You're a coffee snob.
Completely.
I wouldn't have a clue. See, if you sell me different coffees, I would just say, that's all the same.
Oh no, I could tell you which one's from an African continent.
What about the wee bean that comes out of your monkey's bum?
I know the one you mean. I was going to say it's a load of shit. But load of shit. But yes, so I'm helping. I'm now a program. We're going to get the program out to, I suppose, mentor restaurateurs, coffee shop owners, and cafe owners to help develop their businesses. Because I love coffee shops. I love to see people doing well in them. I know how hard the work is, and I know the mistakes that people are making because I made them all 8 years ago. So I'm not sitting on any moral high ground with that one. I just am in a position to help with the management and coaching and mentoring skills, and I have made all the mistakes. So I can say to you, see that mistake you're about to make? Don't be doing that. I've already done that, and it doesn't work out. So
that's great. You can give that experience and help others in that first class.
So that's it. That's short term. That's medium term. Long term, I want to do a lot of talking and a lot of inspiring and a lot of motivating and a lot of connecting and a lot of helping all around the world. That's what I want to do. Global.
Let's go global.
Yeah.
And on that note, that was absolutely awesome, man. 1 hour and 6 minutes. That's been absolutely brilliant. And folks, hopefully you found that really, really good. As I say, James Perry Presents, I'm going to try and make this a more regular thing and just get the brilliant people that we have out there and just chat to them, learn from them. As I say, this is like networking from your own home. You can ping questions, ask a few things and hear what our thoughts are on that. And yeah, we want to try and make this regular. Get the amazing people we have, like Kevin here, and let as many people hear what our thoughts are, and what wisdom we can give and experiences. You're going to give a final wee
I'll sing us out.
Here we go.
But you can turn all the cameras off halfway through if you want. I'm just going to sing a wee song. Being a Sunday, this is probably a gospel type song, but it's just about the power of the mind.
Let's go for it, folks. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.
See you later, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Bye-bye.
Brilliant.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Seeing ain't always believing, and hearing's not always the truth. Your words aren't sweeter than silence, and baby, just what's the use? You're talking in riddles and rhymes, you're living in different times. Your thoughts are clear as cool water, and baby, you're missing the signs I'm giving to you. I'm living for you. I love only you. I love only you. Joker's not always the fool. The boxer, he don't always fight. You can't be going in the darkness. And baby, I'll be your light. I'm shining for you. I'd die for you. I love only you. Losing will help you to find, and falling will help find your feet. You have to first taste the heartache to know that love tastes so sweet. I'm finding with you, every day I feel new. I love only you. Yes, Mary presents. I love you.
absolute legend, my friend.
There we go.
Take care, folks. All the best. Good night.
Enjoy your Sunday night. The snooker's on.
All right,
Snooker's
good
on
luck.
BBC. Bye. Bye. But there we are.
Nice one.